He thought you would chase him. What destroyed him was realizing you've never looked back. 1. Opening emotional pull. There's something men never expect. Not anger, not tears, not revenge. Distance. Real distance. The kind where a woman stops explaining herself, stops defending her heart, stops trying to convince someone to treat her better. And the scary part? Most men don't notice what they lost until the woman becomes emotionally unreachable. See, a lot of women think power is reacting loudly, posting indirect quotes, sending paragraphs, trying to make him understand the damage he caused. But emotionally intelligent women move differently. They realize something most people never learn. The person who stays calm keeps the power. 2. The psychology men don't admit. Men are prepared for emotional reactions. They expect long texts, emotional breakdowns, dramatic exits, constant checking in. Why? Because reactions reassure them. A reaction means emotional access still exists. Even anger can feed a man's ego if he knows you're emotionally attached. But silence creates uncertainty. And uncertainty unsettles people more than conflict ever will. Especially men who thought they understood you. That's why a woman who quietly detaches becomes unforgettable. She doesn't compete. She doesn't beg. She simply changes direction. And suddenly the man who ignored her starts replaying every conversation in his head. 3. The mistake most women make. A lot of women stay emotionally connected through obsession, not love. Obsession. There's a difference. Love brings peace. Obsession keeps checking. His stories, his following list, his activity, his new girl, his last scene. And the truth nobody says out loud. The more attention you give someone, the more power you hand them. That's why the real glow-up starts privately, not online, not performative. Quietly. At the gym, in therapy, reading more, sleeping better, fixing your routine, rebuilding your confidence. Because the strongest women stop trying to be chosen. They start choosing themselves. 4. Why men come back late. Men often come back when the emotional access is gone. Not because they suddenly became mature overnight, but because absence creates clarity. When you're constantly available, people assume they have time. Unlimited chances create emotional laziness. But once your energy disappears, that's when reality hits. He notices your silence, your emotional distance, your new confidence, your lack of interest. And suddenly the same woman he overlooked becomes mysterious again. Because people value what feels rare. And nothing feels rarer than a woman who no longer needs validation. 5. Quiet confidence is intimidating. There's a specific type of woman that deeply unsettles emotionally immature men. The woman who remains graceful after disappointment. No public breakdown, no revenge tour, no bitterness, just distance. That kind of femininity is powerful because it feels uncontrollable. Men know how to handle emotional chaos, but they don't know what to do with a woman who emotionally withdraws with dignity. A woman who says, "I saw enough," and leaves peacefully. That energy lingers in a man's mind for years, because deep down he expected access forever. 6. The dangerous side of healing. Healing changes a woman's standards. That's the part nobody warns men about. Once a woman learns how to emotionally survive without you, she becomes harder to manipulate. She stops romanticizing inconsistency, stops excusing disrespect, stops begging for communication. and suddenly mixed signals disgust her. Emotional unavailability feels exhausting. Bare minimum effort becomes embarrassing. That's why healed women often seem different. They are. Pain forced them to become more emotionally aware. And once a woman experiences peace alone, chaos becomes unattractive. 7. Feminine energy is not weakness. A lot of people confuse femininity with softness without boundaries. That's not feminine energy. Real feminine energy is emotionally intelligent. It knows when to nurture, but it also knows when to leave. A classy woman doesn't scream to prove her value. She observes. And once she notices repeated disrespect, her energy changes quietly. That's the part men miss. Women emotionally leave long before they physically leave. By the time she stops caring, she already grieved the relationship privately. That's why some men are shocked when she finally walks away calmly. He thinks it happened suddenly. Meanwhile, she spent months feeling alone beside him. 8. The most powerful revenge. The truth? The most powerful revenge is becoming unrecognizable to your old pain. Not colder, not cruel, just evolved. A woman who used to cry over inconsistency now protects her peace. A woman who used to beg for effort now walks away at the first red flag. A woman who once feared losing people now fears losing herself. That transformation changes everything. Because confidence built through heartbreak feels different. It's quieter, sharper, more intentional. And people can feel it immediately. 9. Closing emotional reflection. At some point, every woman faces a choice. Keep explaining herself to people committed to misunderstanding her, or finally, choose herself. And the women who truly glow up? They stop chasing closure from people who created confusion. They stop asking for honesty from people who enjoy inconsistency. They stop shrinking to keep emotionally unavailable people comfortable. Instead, they disappear into their own growth. And honestly, that's the kind of woman people never fully get over. Because she didn't leave loudly. She left with peace. And peace is unforgettable.